While on the verge of discovering her desires, a woman discovers that she has a medical condition that might prevent her from any intimate encounter. Lindy spends some private time in her room, imagining herself with Adam. Afterward, she showers while shaving her leg, but gets nicked, so she wipes the blood with a pad. During breakfast, Lindy discovers a dating app on her mother's phone, so she teases Rita about this. Rita gets defensive, more so when her daughter criticizes how her profile photo makes it look like a job profile. Rita changes the topic, asking if Aunt Flo has visited her daughter since she saw the pad in the trash. Her daughter explains that she just wiped the wound with it. Given her late period, her mother wonders if she should see a gynecologist. Lindy refuses to discuss this, so she prepares to leave. Rita hurriedly offers to drive her, but Lindy rejects. Hurt, Rita sarcastically apologizes that her chest won't regrow after her surgery, believing that Lindy is embarrassed by her appearance. Guilty, Lindy apologizes. Lindy later works out with her team, then goes to the pharmacy with Vivian after practice. There, they bump into an old classmate, Jax. After they leave, Vivian expresses admiration about how open Jax is to being non-binary. She also mentions that Jax is popular in social media, imagining if she could quit school and make a lifestyle empire instead. On the way home, the two pass by Adam's yard where they see him playing with his friends. Lindy admires him, and Vivian suddenly receives a message, prompting her to leave for her date with Doug. Lindy points out that they hated the man, so Vivian hints that she is conveniently leaving her for Adam. With Adam's friends leaving too, he and Lindy watch a movie in his home. Tension between them heightens until they kiss, only to be interrupted when Adam's mother calls him. With a moment over, Adam invites her to have a sleepover at another time. She agrees, but Adam clarifies that they'll do the deed, so he asks if she has already done it before. Unsure how to answer, she lies that she has. That night, Lindy calls Vivian, expressing her excitement to be with Adam. After the call, Vivian starts watching an explicit video to practice her moves. Later, Lindy receives a particular image from Adam and immediately calls Vivian. She doesn't know how to respond, so Vivian advises her to prepare protection before her first encounter. After the call, Lindy takes photos of herself and sends them back to Adam. Sometime later, Lindy meets with a gynecologist, Dr. Doheny. However, when she mentions that she hasn't had her monthly visits yet, the man pauses. Lindy then gets a pap smear but recoils in pain from it. With this, the doctor stops the procedure and informs her that her canal is blocked by a tissue. The news has Lindy zoning out through the rest of the day. At home, she tries inspecting herself, and seeing it personally, decides to see a specialist. While she and her mother wait in the hospital, Rita comments on her going to the doctor for protection but not about her period. Still, she appreciates her daughter's initiative to be safe. Soon, Lindy lays on an examination table and the doctor asks permission to let medical students watch the procedure. Lindy agrees to it, but as soon as the students walk in, she hesitates. The doctor begins the inspection, and it becomes so uncomfortable that it drives her to tears. This makes one of the female students empathize with her. After several tests, Dr. Doheny concludes that Lindy doesn't have a canal to her ovaries, rendering copulation and pregnancy impossible. The bad news causes Lindy to space out while her mother blames herself for drinking while she was pregnant. Later, Lindy sees another doctor who cheerfully shows her the dilator she could use to create her opening. When she notices that her patient looks miserable, the woman empathizes with her again. Finally, upon having the privacy of her room, Lindy screams her frustrations. The next day, Coach Mike chooses Lindy to compete in the varsity. She asks if Vivian can compete as well, but her coach reasons that she's just built differently. After the conversation, Lindy quickly assures Vivian that she tried to rope her in, hoping not to make her envious. Vivian, however, is happy for her. Days later, Adam and Lindy hang out, but when things start to get intimate, she stops and tries making up excuses to leave. When Adam finds reasons to be with her, she ultimately asks him to leave. Seeing him disappointed, she kisses him, only for her mother to arrive. This allows Adam to properly meet her mother. That evening, Rita prepares to go on a date, only for her date's girlfriend to call her. She thanks the woman for the warning and calms herself with a smoke. Later on, Lindy watches a video on how to use the dilators, but gets frustrated and slams her laptop shut. Despite this, she finds that she has no choice but to go through with it, so she tearfully uses a dilator for the first time. The next morning, Lindy and Rita discuss the cause of her condition, with the latter advising her daughter to tell Adam about her condition early on. However, the idea that he'd reject her for her condition gets Lindy angry, so she storms off. She releases her frustration in her training throughout the day. Still, her mother's advice about talking about her condition gets to her, so she cautiously attends a support group. To her surprise, Jax is a guest speaker who recounts how being able to open up about themselves allowed them to be comfortable with who they are. Lindy's then asked to introduce herself. Hesitantly, she mentions her condition but can't bring herself to discuss it further, so she runs off. That night, she tries another dilator, striving to work her way into feeling normal. However, it makes her uncomfortable no matter what distractions she tries. Her bad mood seeps into practice the next day, making her start a fight with another athlete, Celeste. She later meets with Adam, who's concerned about her awful mood. He offers to help her relax, but she diverts his attention and offers to join him in smoking. The two end up sharing their passions that evening, but when Adam initiates intimacy again, Lindy lies that it's her time of the month. At home, Rita tries taking attractive photos for her dating profile when her daughter walks in. The mother notices Lindy's red eyes, so she scolds her for smoking, yet laughs along when her daughter chuckles. On another morning, Vivian arrives at Lindy's room to prepare for a Halloween party. To Lindy's horror, her friend accidentally finds her dilators. Vivian assumes they're toys but drops the subject when Lindy gets defensive about them. Vivian tries to talk about their training instead, but her friend also refuses to discuss it. Worried, Vivian asks what's wrong, so finally, Lindy tries to explain her condition, mentioning that she can never have a period. Her friend calls her lucky since she finds them painful, but this makes Lindy hesitate about clarifying her condition further. They soon attend Adam's Halloween party. During this, they bump into Celeste, who offers her sympathies to Lindy for losing her spot in the race to Vivian. Lindy's surprised to hear this, so she walks off. On her way out, Jax greets her, but Lindy asks them not to mention to anyone about her attending the support group. Understanding her plight, Jax promises not to tell. Adam then notices her about to leave, so Lindy excuses that she's not feeling well. Before she leaves, he invites her to his room and gives her a book about women in history as a gift. In it, he added a page with her image, predicting that she'll be an Olympic-winning athlete one day. However, this only saddens Lindy, given that she just lost her spot in varsity. Adam's surprised by this, but instead of discussing it further, the woman offers to satisfy him. He hesitates due to the suddenness, so Lindy gets up to leave. Adam stops her and assures her that he likes her. However, he's starting to think that she doesn't like him. Instead of correcting him, Lindy apologizes and leaves. Worried, Jax catches up to her outside to check on her. The two hang out by the beach where Lindy asks about Jax's struggles. Her friend explains that they were born with an anatomy that doesn't definitively make them male or female. They've posted about this on their social media, but Jax stops themselves, realizing that they just endorsed their page to Lindy. Lindy assures them that she wants to watch their videos, even thanking them for being open to her. She admits making friends hasn't been easy, so Jax promises to be her friend. Suddenly, Lindy gets drawn to them and kisses Jax. She immediately apologizes for this and decides to go home. Lindy later watches Jax's videos, learning how their parents made them undergo surgery. The next day, Lindy gets distracted by thoughts about her condition, so during class, she looks up if her health might be affecting her preferences. Ultimately, she finds no conclusive answers to this. After class, she apologizes for being harsh to Adam. Despite accepting her apology, Adam acts distant, so Lindy assures him that she likes him but asks for time to decide on their relationship. However, Adam thinks they should end things if she doesn't want to be with him. That afternoon, Lindy heads to a restaurant alone where she meets one of the staff, Chad. She finds him attractive, confirming that she still likes men. With this in mind, she uses another dilator, hoping to fix her problem quickly. Soon, the doctor confirms that her canal is starting to open, so he encourages her to keep at it. He even hints that if the dilator isn't comfortable, she can get things surgically done. During dinner that evening, Rita wonders why Adam hasn't stopped by. The teen excuses excuses that they've been busy, and Rita's glad that her daughter has a life outside of dating. Thinking that this is about her father, Lindy advises her mother not to compare him to every man. Hoping to make her daughter feel better, Rita changes the topic and offers to pay for Lindy's surgery. However, Lindy gets angry over her mother trying to fix everything. Stunned, Rita assures her daughter that she can decide for herself if she wants the surgery. She just wants Lindy to feel normal, but this angers her daughter further, asserting that she's not normal. With that, Lindy storms off. In the morning, Lindy rushes to Vivian's house to talk, only to find Adam's bicycle in her yard. Jumping to conclusions, Lindy rushes off. For days, Lindy focuses on using the dilators to make her feel normal again. Soon, she asks Chad out and tries being forward with him during their date. Despite his hesitation, Lindy starts removing her clothes and convinces him to be intimate with her, though she struggles during it. After the deed, she asks how the experience was. Chad admits that it felt too narrow, making him wonder if he's not small after all. When Lindy arrives home, Rita asks to talk, but her daughter feels like she's being a therapist to her. Still, Rita insists on discussing her condition, acknowledging how weird it is to discuss intimate things with her mother. However, Rita stresses how she's had her troubles too. To start, Rita's mother warned her about men, given her own failed marriage. Still, she got pregnant and Lindy's father abandoned them. Rita now understands that her mother was trying to protect her and she's doing the same to Lindy. She felt the need to correct things for her daughter. However, she realized that if she listened to her mother's advice about men, she wouldn't have had Lindy as her daughter. With that, Rita expresses her sympathy for Lindy's hardships, adding that life is just awful sometimes. As her own insecurities rule her, she then removes her silicone pad and tosses it over to Lindy before leaving. Curious, Lindy tries on the pad later, wondering about looking more alluring. However, she decides that she doesn't need it. In the morning, she leaves a tray of breakfast at Rita's door, which includes a note assuring her love for her mother. Lindy then visits Jax and spends the day with him. While the two are in Jax's room, the woman wonders why they haven't asked her why she attended the support group. Jax explains that they didn't want to ask it if she wasn't comfortable talking about it. For the first time, Lindy decides to open up about her condition and how it's made her unsure about herself. She even wonders if she would still feel different if she underwent surgery. With this in mind, her friend recalls how people think that Jax actually likes their condition since they were making content out of it. In truth, Jax used the internet to express how they felt about their condition since they were afraid that someone would take over their story instead. With that, Jax advises Lindy that she's allowed to be exactly how she is. This has Lindy feeling appreciated, so the two end up getting intimate, with a woman actually enjoying herself. That night, the two attend a party where Lindy finally feels free. She leaves Jax momentarily to find her phone but runs into Chad, who tries to ask her out. Just then, Jax approaches, so Chad introduces himself. Before he can say how he knows Lindy, the woman stops him and claims that she's just a customer at the restaurant. After the encounter, Jax asks about Chad, but Lindy pretends that she doesn't know him much. However, her date isn't buying it, so Jax asks her to kiss them. Lindy instinctively looks back to see if Chad is watching, and this is enough for Jax to figure out the truth. With that, they walk off. Lindy ends up drinking her woes away and even shows herself to a partygoer named Greg. Vivian spots her, so she approaches her friend worriedly. She asks to talk about her and Adam, but Lindy refuses to listen and slips out as she spots Chad going into the bathroom. There, she convinces him to get intimate again. However, Chad realizes that the woman is using him, so he leaves. Confused and hurt, Lindy continues drinking and drunkenly confesses her condition to Greg. This weirds him out, so he leaves too. In the morning, Rita confiscates Lindy's phone and laptop for getting drunk last night. Her mother points out that she placed herself in danger of being taken advantage of, but Lindy sarcastically points out that it's not even possible. Rita yells at her for being reckless on purpose, so Lindy reasons that she's hurt because Vivian dated Adam. Surprisingly, Rita already knows since Vivian visited her after Lindy refused to talk to her. The mother then advises her not to ruin a friendship over a guy. With this, Lindy visits Vivian to finally talk. To her surprise, Vivian already knows about her condition since people have been texting her about it. This sends the woman into a panic, so Lindy rushes back home and asks for her phone back. With her panicking, Rita returns it, allowing Lindy to call Greg. Greg apologizes, noting that he took some mushrooms last night and must have talked about her secrets to others. With her secret now out, Lindy runs to her room and grieves. That night, Rita comforts her daughter. To empathize with her, Rita shows her surgery scars, sharing how she still hates them but doesn't have to hide her pain about them. She then embraces her daughter, promising that she doesn't have to go through this alone. The next day, Lindy goes to school and feels all eyes on her. Vivian assures her that she's there for her friend, while Lindy wishes her luck on her race. That afternoon, Lindy goes to watch Vivian's race, only to find herself near Adam and his friends. She hears his friends tease him about her, but she focuses on supporting Vivian, who wins first place. As Lindy congratulates her friend after the race, one of Adam's friends, Doug, tries to flirt with Vivian. Lindy defends her friend, but Doug ridicules her condition, claiming that it's why Adam's dating someone else now. This hurts Lindy, so she runs off while Adam berates his friend for the comment. Lindy finds a quiet spot to cry about her situation, but Vivian soon finds her. She reveals that she told Doug and the rest that she's the one with the condition, and Greg just misinterpreted the story since he was under the influence. This surprises Lindy since she thought Vivian had already been with someone. Her friend then reveals that she's been lying about her experiences since she wanted to look cool. This also means that she wasn't involved with Adam, who just visited her that day to talk about his breakup with Lindy. With everything clear, the two reconcile, but Lindy decides to take things further. Recalling how Jax told their story on their own terms, Lindy walks up to the field full of her schoolmates and opens up about her condition. She confirms that she's the one with the defect, but that's none of their business since intimacy is more than using the parts between their legs. She then confronts Doug, declaring how nobody is really into him. To prove this, she asks the group to raise their hands if they've ever felt satisfied with Doug. No one does, proving her point. With this, Lindy declares that she's tired of making room in her life and body for everyone else. She then tells everyone to post her rant on the internet or erase her from their lives since she no longer cares. The woman then makes her grand exit, earning praise from some of the students. After this, Lindy gathers up the courage to apologize to Jax. Before going to their place, she confides in Vivian about what happened. She also admits to her friend that she is angry about her condition and how it made her unable to have children. Lindy expresses all her pain, from not feeling like a woman to her father leaving. Seeing her pain, Vivian embraces her, though she does so a bit tight, making Lindy laugh. Soon, Lindy meets a new doctor, Dr. Aranda, since Doheny is sick. Unlike Dr. Doheny, Aranda assures her that she has time to decide if she wants any procedure done, including having her pelvic exam. With this, Lindy decides to skip her exam for now. Finally, having a doctor who doesn't pressure her makes Lindy happy, so when she goes home, she relaxes and falls asleep on her mother's lap. In the next few days, she also starts doing her normal activities, feeling more like herself. One day, she finds Rita all dolled up for a date, so Lindy compliments her. After her mother leaves, Lindy receives a message, prompting her to meet Jax. The two reconcile and have fun swimming at the beach. With things finally going her way, Lindy decides to stop using the dilators and satisfy herself the way she wants. This gives her a more fulfilling time than trying to fit into everyone else's version of being a woman.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.